Hi all, it's Kenty here, and I'm going to spin this round. How are you all? Just to keep you updated really, and have a bit of a show round of what I've been doing at in the greenhouse. There's not been a lot going off this week. Well, I'll say that there hasn't been a lot going off this week. Just want to update you on a few things, and hopefully you'll find it of interest. So it's been a really busy week for me this week. Had a bit of family crap going on, so I didn't really want to do a video today, but I thought, no, you know what, get your arse into gear, Keith, and get out in the greenhouse and go and get motivated, and go and take your mind off things. It's been really busy at work. I'm not going to go into too much details, but I've had a bit of a fractious relationship, as you do, with family members, my mum being the main member. I've not seen her since December, and I went up yesterday to see her for her birthday, and she absolutely had a complete meltdown. Drinks too much, and absolutely come out with some real vile stuff, which, you know, don't want to talk about. So anyway, they're the reasons why I may seem a little bit monotone today, but nonetheless I thought I'll just come down here, and I've made a few purchases this week, so I thought I'd run through them. And something I'm going to show you in a minute is my new RO. It's a inline one from Collins Water Products off eBay. I've used them for quite a few years now, and this is my second RO. The first one that's in the corner there is a 4-stage one, and I added DI resin on there, and I noticed the last few months needed changing, and it's getting really old now. So I thought, you know what, get a new airline one. So I did, fitted it, great. But this time I made an upgrade, and I bought the auto switch off. So there's a ball valve, and then there's a mechanism that fluctuates, that turns the water off in between the valves, which I'll show you. Looks a bit of a mess at the minute, and I suppose these things always do, because when I show you in a minute, the amount of pipe work and connections just blows your mind. It really does, because it's all compact on. It's not in like one line that might be a metre long. It's all compact and all there, so they're really difficult to have tidy. Now what I've done, I thought, right, I grow orchids, as many as you know, and I'm into reef keeping. Now, if you may or may not know, if you're into reef keeping, you will know that you strive for the purest water possible with a 0 TDS, and that is the amount of inorganics that's in the water, the total dissolved solids, the TDS, and that's what it is. So I thought, right, I've got a little drum up there, and it's one of them brewing ones, and I've always had it for a while, and I put a tap on the bottom a long time ago. Now I've put the float valve in there, and it holds about 20 gallons, I think. No, sorry, 20 litres, about 5 gallon. So that, my new system is going to be for my reef water. So my mindset is, I'm not one of these that's into loads of water changes. I want to go down the route of, I'm spending a lot of money on products to put into the water. I'm only going to do water changes when I feel the balance in my reef water is sort of kicked out of sync, if you like. So that might be 4 times a year. So I'm going to show you that water there at the minute. I don't need loads of it, like I say. I just need it for topping off and things like that. And then maybe if I do a salt water change, which, like I say, I've just said I don't do many of them. So that one is 100 gallon per day, and that's running my reef tank. Let's say up there, my reef RO water. My old system is going to my blue drum in the corner, so I've got 2 systems now, incoming water, and it splits off into a T, and it goes up to 2 systems, and that system is running probably about 50-60 ppm, and that's for my orchids, and that's still low for orchids. I'm not striving for them to be 0, so I'm not really that bothered about upgrading the membrane and filter so much on there. So I'll keep an eye on it though. But for my reef, got to be spot on. Now what I've done, I've fitted a HM digital TDS monitor the three stage or the 3 line version. So if I flip you around now, we'll have a look at it. So there's the 2 tanks I'm describing, and like I say, there's a float valve here and there's a ball in there, and the actual inline system where the water comes in here, okay, goes through the filters. There's 2 filters, comes down, goes through the membrane, through the DI, then up to the tub. Okay, so that's just the line. Looks a lot of stuff there, but that's basically in effect what it is, what it does. Now, now this part costs about £7. You get this, a tap, this line, this valve here, protector valve I'd imagine, and then the ball, the float, and you get about, I think 3 meters of 1/4 inch pipe, this stuff. Okay, now being construction minded and looking at how it works, it did puzzle me a bit. It does puzzle you how to set it up, but in a nutshell it's really quite straightforward. The water comes in, from what I can see, and it goes into the RO, okay, and then it comes out the RO and back into this system and then to the float valve. Okay, so it runs normally, runs through and out to, fills up, fills the tank up. When the water is full in your tank, or where you're collecting the water, so the water stops dripping, there is obviously a back pressure on this valve here, and what this does, I think it must push some mechanism in here and it stops the water into the RO. Now the proof in the pudding is obviously when it's filling up, the pressure gauge goes up so you know what pressure it is, and there's no water going through now, look. So the water's onto the RO, the ball valve activated, and but it's not filling. I've had problems with this one and they're going to send me another one. I don't know what was up with it. It keeps dripping and overflowing, so I've got to be a bit careful of it now. It's flooded over twice, but I don't know if I've sorted it out. And now I've touched the float, look, it's filling up, so you can see. It's obviously activated, the pressure's dropped through the valve, allowing water to go through. Okay, and now the water's come on, so the RO's working. I release the valve. That should, in theory, stop dripping, but if it doesn't, obviously the water will continue, and there it goes, look, the water's cut off because the pressure's built up in the pipe and it's saying it's full. So quite a simple system, okay, but it was doing that before, but the flow kept dripping, so it overflowed, and I come down and this was all soaked. I've tried it twice now. So what I've done, I've put this little bit of pipe as acts a little bit of an overflow just in case. And what I'm going to do, because this is a see-through barrel, I'm just going to whack a black bag over it. Okay, so that's the RO. Now, in addition to that, I thought, look at a TDS monitor. And I got one, this HM Digital triple line one. You can get double line ones, and I suppose you can get single line ones. I thought triple, cost about £17 delivered. Now what this does is, if I turn it on, you've got line 1. You can have these lines wherever you want, on any system, on any tank, on any RO system, water system, whatever, it doesn't matter, it will monitor any, but there's 3 lines on this, look. Again, because there's that many things going off, it's like a flipping, look at it, all the stuff everywhere. It's a nightmare, isn't it? So if you ever want one of these, you need it somewhere where you're not bothered about how it looks, really, 'cause it's very difficult to keep tidy. So anyway, it's loose at the moment, and I'll probably hook it somewhere so it's just sat in a little holder instead of sticking it. Because you stick things in, and no doubt, you know, you need to look at them and you need them in your hand. So I like to have them in my hand. So if I explain this to you, so I've got my RO set up. So what I've done, turn it on. Line 1, that is on. That's that red line there. That's the incoming water supply. And that's 171 ppm, which isn't bad actually for tap water, for sort of city tap water. And then if I go to line 2, That's 8 ppm. That's come down actually. It was about oh no, that's on, yeah, it was about 12 ppm, so that's quite good, but it's still 7. Yeah, 4, 6. So anyway, let's just round it about 10. Let's just say it's 10 ppm. And what line 2 is doing, it's monitoring between the RO membrane, which is there, that part, and the DI resin. And after the DI resin, it goes out to fill your vessel up, and that's your actual finished product water. Now, without the resin, you'll find that that's pretty good without the resin, okay? That is absolutely brilliant for plants. However, if you want to go reef and you want pure water and be confident there's absolutely nothing in it, look at line 3. Because remember, it's TDS, it doesn't tell you what is in that water, it just told you that they are, you know, inorganics if you like, but you don't know what they are. If I go to line 3, and that's the out to my vessel at the top, it's 0. Now, the clever thing is this, because you've got 3 lines, line 1, basically you could say you don't need that, because once you've took the reading once, I know now that that should be between 175 and 200, don't I? And that's what I'll get in on my TDS pen. So you could say line 1's a bit of a waste actually, but you know, I could take that off and put it on something else if I wanted, like my other one, my outlet water there, to monitor me DI on that one, which I might do. However, I'll leave it on for now just for illustration. Line 1 is incoming water, and the clever thing is you can use this as a bit of a tool. So if this starts creeping up, line 2, that's a sure sign that your filters need changing out, and if it starts creeping up even more, then it could be that your membrane is leaking and split and needs changing out. So you know from the start, look, what's good. Once that starts creeping up, then you know that it's your membrane that's playing up, okay? Because if you haven't got that in between the membrane and your DI, just going on the outlet, you don't know whether it's your membrane, filters or DI, do you? Okay, so say if I had line 1, the 2-stage one, or 2 line 1, you go line 1 tap water, and line 2 you'd have on the outlet, but actually you wouldn't have line 1 on the inlet, would you? You'd have it in between your membrane and your DI, if you've got a DI, that is. But anyway, so we go to 3 again. Once 3 starts creeping up, I know my DI resin has become exhausted. So you need to change that out. You just unscrew this, and I've got a bag of it here. It only cost about £6.50, I think, £7 for that bag, and I got it with the RO, so I got it all in one. And so that is pretty much an RO system, and for reefing it's absolutely essential. So now I will, you know, this resin should be good for a month or 2. You can get resin that changes colour, goes like a blue colour I think, but it's a bit more expensive. Well, I've got this now anyway to monitor it. There's 2 little batteries in the back, and then it's off. So that's that. And now, instead of me coming in here and just whacking the RO on, and then I've got the overflows, because the chances are, if you've got an RO system, you definitely will forget to turn it off. So, but because I'm in a greenhouse, I've lasted 15 odd years with this system without that, because I'm in a greenhouse and the moisture's fine, because I'm in a greenhouse. But it is a waste of water, isn't it? So I thought, you know what, it's time now, Keith. Now I'm reefing, and it's happened to me too many times now. I'm wasting water, and I want to keep it now minimum. That's why I've not got a huge vessel filled up with pure water, because I want to keep it fresh. I don't want it sat there in that little drum all that time, because you know, as soon as the water's there and it's to air, it starts to deteriorate. And there's no doubt if that was left here, it will get green, there'll be algae growing inside, and as soon as you start getting that, your TDS will go up in here. So actually you might have 0 going in, you're leaving it in the tub too long and there's a reaction, and then your 0 water going in, it's stored too long and it will be coming out more than 0. So what's the point in going to all this expense for it to then be sat in a drum for weeks on end? I like to keep things fresh. Okay, 15 minutes gone there, so I'll have a little pan round. I was going to do other stuff actually, but yeah, I'll call this video an RO then. RO and all that malarkey. So I just thought I'd be consistent and do a video of the week and what's been going off. There hasn't actually been more. I changed my pond air stone to one of these inline type ones, so that's up there now and in. This koi in my grow, this Jingring Achiba, is absolutely doing great. The salt in this, I think I mentioned it in a video earlier on, I'm not trickling in yet with water because I want the salt to react into it. And the fish is doing absolutely fine actually. When it first come in here, it was lethargic in the corner, and I'm happy to report its size looks a lot better. Still a little bit of bruising there, it looks like, so I'm hoping it's not something that's going to stay and come back. But if I do this, look, tap on the side, you can see how active it is. So that's that. Great, I can leave that for a bit now. I'm going to whack that black bag over it in a minute. So what I'll do is just finish off with a walk up the garden. Excuse the mess outside because this is where my chickens was and that fires now. I'm fortunate enough to have a nice long garden, so I can do lots in here. Tell you what I've noticed. This, I think it's the frost that we've had this week, absolutely wreaking havoc on the fish outside. Look at this. Look at that frost damage. It's been really cold at times this week, and I've noticed it on a few plants. Look at the leaves on this thing. You can tell they look a bit shriveled. And one of the things where I'm really gutted about, I think I did our Wisteria standard was in a video last week. Well, check this out. It looks dead. And I'm really gutted about this one because this one was, excuse the rug, we're having a bit of a clean out today. Look at this. Look at the state of that. A lot of the leaves have been, the young fresh leaves have just gone like it's been set on fire. But most of them are right now. What I thought it was, I thought any coals and that from that barbecue that I've had a fire with, any wood, put it on there, and I did last week. And look, I burnt it a bit there, and I thought it might be that, but I look around the garden and it's happened. Look at this, look, this bonsai I was growing, look at the frost damage on that. So I'm 100% confident it's frost damage. And the fish, let's finish off in the koi pond. These looking a bit happier today, and they haven't been. But yeah, it was really cold one day this week, and this thing that I reported on, the batteries run out in about 2 weeks all of a sudden. So what I've done, I bought some really good Duracell reusables, 2500 mAh, whatever you want to call it, and I pop them in there, Vaseline the seal up, and I see how long they last. Now these are rechargeable, so it's only 11.7. This was 15, knocking on 15 a week ago. We had that lovely weather. Koi don't like that. They don't want to go from 15, 16 to down to 10, 11 again. Absolutely wreaks havoc on him. So one thing that I have learnt with this is if I had covers on, they would not be coming off. I've got a bit of a methodology where with plants, it's all, the weather is variable up until the end of May, June, around about now, next week I would say. So if I had pond covers, or if this was a pergola and it was clad, I'm going to clad it so it's more secure and covered. I won't be opening it up till around about next week, and then the weather should, you know, settle down a bit. But here they are, look, the greedy buggers, they want some food. We've already had some today. I've not got my auto feeder out here yet. So this little fella's doing alright. This Acer, a bit of damage there, look. So if you lot are seeing any of this in your gardens, Acers are fine leaves. I thought it was a chemical or something in the air, and then I clicked frost, because one day last week was really cold. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I feel a bit better now actually. Now I've done a bit of a talk and yeah, gone through a few things. I feel a bit more alive now, so I'm gonna have a nice cup of tea, I think, or something like that, and chill out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. See you on the next one. Bye. Looking good, aren't they?